Hey guys, please stay radio here. We'll talk a little bit about the correlation between Katy Perry's halftime performance at the Super Bowl 2015 at the at the MetLife Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona, on the 33rd parallel. Um, it doesn't seem like much. It seems like your usual frivolous SOS, larger than life pop star bullshit. But really, there's an incredible amount of symbolism in this, and it has to do with, to my mind, it has to do with the transition of the age, maybe even the changing of the gods. And it isn't at Fuckingham Palace, let me tell you that. Anyway, so the show opens up with two spotlights here. One, the Pepsi commercial. It could be construed as the OX. Pepsi's got a white wedge through the red and the blue, It's a perfect symbol of the fractal paradise we live in. Just at the beginning of this really big show, you see the Pepsi symbol turn into an egg, because it's, as you'll see, Katy Perry represents Isis. Not only that, she represents Venus, Aphrodite, Semiramis. So it's not surprising that the Pepsi logo becomes an egg, a golden egg at that. First, you see here I watched White Rabbit's breakdown on this. It's a great video. It's already gone viral. But I differ on a few of my summations of this performance. He mentioned that she's like the whore that rides the beast, and indeed she is, but I think she represents Isis, the phoenix rising from the ashes, thus the flaming orange and yellow dress. And this might seem like SOS frivolity. It's absolutely ridiculous circus show, but it's deadly serious. Okay? Deadly serious. Now you see here, she's like between the parting of the eye. Right way Rabbit thought this whole thing she was going through was a big eye, and then I can't blame him for coming to that presumption, because the synagogue of Satan is always flashing the eye at us, and it's like totally pervasive everywhere. So of course he would think this was an eye, and it might just be, but to me, she's on the lion, she's on the big lion, and the lion represents Judah. The reason why I think this is because at the end of the show, she gets on a little pedestal and gets hoisted up into the sky, and that little pedestal has two 5-pointed stars on it, right side up of course, with a tail on the end. So that symbolizes a comet. Just like when you go to the horse races, they started off with a bang, right? It's the ultimate in duality. Now you see this. This is the Lion of Judah, and this represents the parting of the Red Sea. At first, the balloons are sulfur colored, because the best scientific conclusion that anybody can come up with for why the Red Sea parted magically when Moses lifted up his staff to Yahweh in the sky and the Red Sea parted. It was said to be caused by a volcano, a huge, they can date a huge volcano in the Aegean Sea blew up, and it caused a tidal wave, and that tidal wave receded the water, so it pulled the water out of the Red Sea long enough for the Israelites to cross the sea, but not long enough for the Pharaoh and his army, who were in hot pursuit. He had a sudden change of heart and decided to chase after the Israelites, which were supposed to be slaves in Egypt, in the Fertile Crescent, on the Delta. Submerged all his whole standing army, so that's why the color of the balloons is kind of sulfur colored, because that's the color of the volcano. Yahweh is said to be a volcano god. And now here you can see like this. There's a lot of questions as to whether this was a lion or a tiger, but the song is called Roar, and she, in the verse, she's like the eye of the tiger, rising up to subdue the lion, and so like here you can see that this is the lion. It's a half lion, half tiger. It has the front gait of a lion. It has the mane under the head, but above the head the mane is missing, and the head resembles more of a tiger than anything else. And tigers are known to be stronger than lions, you know what I mean? So it's like that duality, tiger and lion, everything about them is duality. So you'll see that the water turns red. Of course, the balloons turn red because that symbolizes the Red Sea. The Lion of Judah even has symbolized with red eyes, fire eyes. It's all fractal. The lion is all fractal. So she's see the balloons turn red once she gets into the chorus. The balloons turn red, symbolizing the Red Sea. It's the parting of the Red Sea. This whole thing is about ISIS. You know that Katy Perry is ISIS. She plays the role of ISIS in many of her videos, particularly Dark Horse. And here you see she's playing ISIS again. Queen Nefertiti or whatever, back to the ancient days. She's always ISIS, you know what I mean? And what does the name ISIS remind you of? Well, aren't we being besieged by this ISIS propaganda in the West? Well, the halftime show seems to have everything to do with that. At least it seems like it does. Halftime show took place on Super Bowl Sunday, of course. Super Bowl always takes place on Sunday. And that was the 1st of February, which is 31 days into the year, right? So the Super Bowl took place exactly 61 days before the 2015 Passover, which just happens to fall on Friday, April 3rd. Friday, Frig Day, Venus, Frigga, This was when the the Jews prepared to receive the Torah in 1313 BC. You'll see it has a lot to do with 13 here. Okay, and the Jews are everything about 13, especially at that time. They followed the, I don't know if they still do, but they followed the lunar calendar. On Sivan 3, God instructed Moses to set boundaries for the people around, saying, "Beware of ascending the mountain or torching its edge," in the preparation for the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai 3 days later. To this day we mark the 3-day of Hagbalah, boundaries, leading to the giving of the Torah. You see, Madonna, a long time ago, before she was going to do her ISIS spectacle at the halftime show, she called the Super Bowl the Holy of Holies, because that's what it's become. You know, it's become more popular than Jesus Christ in America, and that statement would not create an uproar today, as it did with John Lennon and his Beatles so many moons ago. It seems to me that they've run this whole ritual in reverse. And you have the Jordanian pilot in the cage on the X of kerosene, waiting to die, while the Templar, the very Templar-looking jihadist executioner, gets set to perform his very choreographed ceremonial duties on bended right knee, as the Masons and the Templars before them during their initiation rituals. Bends down on one knee, that's a Masonic symbol, and proceeds to light the fuse, the kerosene fuse. And all this just happens to take place on the full moon on the 3rd day of the 7 or 8 day Passover observance. February 3rd, 23, another one of their favorite numbers. 2 plus 3 equals 5, the number of death. 2 divided by 3 is 0.666. You know, the Illuminati is all about numerology and making sure everything's synchronous. Only this is running in reverse, with the phoenix symbolically burning in its nest, and 3 days before it rising from the ashes at the Super Bowl halftime show. The way they do it, they don't put it out right in the open, so what they do is they give you half the amount of the real amount. So it's February 1st, Super Bowl, 61 days later, Passover, April 3rd, and February 1st is 31 days into the year. So that could symbolically represent halfway between those 61 days, with the phoenix symbolically burning in its nest, and 3 days before it rising from the ashes at the Super Bowl. Probably the reason why the beast symbolizes the tiger and the lion is it's probably because it's supposed to be androgynous or whatever. I'm not quite sure why they would do that other than for duality's sake. But it is indeed about parting of the Red Sea and the Sea of Passage. And now the rulers of the world have parted the seas, and the seas in the Bible often represent humanity as the global family, the global population. The sea, we're always symbolized as the sea. We live in the abyss. Roar, yeah. What a bunch of crap. synagogue of Satan never fails to make me sick. Now you see here, the first thing you see on the stage, after she roars, the first thing you see is the waves coming back in the form of a chessboard. You know, so after the parting of the sea, the whole chessboard has been rearranged, and then the sea recedes, lets the Israelites go through the sea, and then when the Pharaoh and his army come, it submerges them and comes back. And here you see, the first thing you see on the chessboard is a wave to form the chessboard, you see, just like that, right across. And then you got the chessboard, and the new age, like the Exodus symbolized a new age. And she's dressed in flames, and you know, people were wondering why, but a couple days ago when ISIS put out their new propaganda video, we can understand why she's in flames. She's on a step pyramid, which is what the queen always gets coronated on, a step pyramid. So she's the queen again, yet again. You see here the water's closed in and erase the checkerboard floor, and it turns into a whirlwind of water. And that's what the Pharaoh was said to be swallowed up in. There's an ancient papyrus of Ippawar which describes this, and it described the Pharaoh as perishing in a whirlwind, a whirlpool. And of course, Lenny Kravitz comes on, and he's black and she's white, and the Synagogue of Satan is promoting interracial harmony. Not only interracial harmony, but downright interracial sex, interracial marriage, whatever. Not that I have anything against that, but I don't think we should be ruled over this world by a religion that promotes this kind of thing, homosexuality, interracial marriage, and all this stuff. If people want to marry an opposite race, that should be up to them, but they shouldn't be encouraged to do this through the pop genre. And that's what they do. Constantly, they're always doing this. See, she's licking her lips, looking at his you know what. And she's telling him that she kissed a girl and she doesn't feel bad about it. You know, so you got the two motifs in one, the black and the white interracial sex, where she puts her butt to his whatever, and then but she's telling him that she's a lesbian. It's just like, this is our new age. It's just all about debauchery and about the flesh and about materialism. Nothing about spiritualism to encourage the flocks to just be materialistic, while everything about their shows are spiritual. It's all spiritual warfare. She gets down on her knees for the Black Prince, and the flames in the background, of course. And now, very interestingly enough, we come to the New Age, and we have the whole motif of water again. And what do we have? Palm trees. Okay, it symbolizes California, or maybe it symbolizes Babylon. But now she's changed her dress, and she comes out in the three primary colors: yellow, red, and blue. it's all about colors. Like a lot of their brainwashing has to do with colors. Colors are very, very powerful, and the three primary colors, of course, and then you got the secondary primary colors, which I call the gateway colors, and I'll go into that a little later. But this is the new age, you know, so they have to, it has to be all in these new colors, and with the water flowing in the background. It always has to do with water because we're in the abyss. So long as the synagogue of Satan has control over the hearts and minds of our young people, we will be in the abyss. This part is so stupid, like dancing sharks. It's just so asinine, so stupid. That's the way our society is today. They have all these very mythological, deep occult symbolism going on, and at the same time, it's all frivolous fun. It's all stupid, mindless football fun. Super Bowl. It's just a modern form of the ancient arena, you know, the Colosseum, gladiators. Still on her cigarette pyramid, of course. What happens to just, you know, music for music's sake? It always has to be incorporated with this really big show now, like this huge Bollywood snake circus. Okay, so this part's really interesting. This is like what made me understand that this thing is all about. See, this is the jungle aspect, the interracial part. They have their raps. They have a rap part in all their new pop shows all the time. And I'll notice that this number here, 49. She's wearing the number 49, right? Which is 4 plus 9, 13. That's going to be a big number, and why this is connected to ISIS. And ISIS, like this new terror group coming out of Babylon or Syria or whatever, it is actually a Jesuit high priest operation. It's a continuation of the look at this. Look at this. They end up on the path with the rings of Saturn. The I/O, it's like the on-off switch. The I/O, you see that for every time you turn on your stereo, you see that I/O. But the ISIS thing that's going on, the hoax with all the beheadings and all that stuff, and the new video of the Human Torch in a cube cage. That's all a high priest operation, and it's all what it is it's the last stages of softening the kill zone in the war against the people that our kings have brought forth. And what they're doing is they're announcing the beginning of a new inquisition. The same people that are behind ISIS right now are the same people that brought us the Nazis. The Christian Holocaust in Yugoslavia. It was all Nazi, Jesuit, Catholic Church crap, and I'm not saying the Catholic Church is the total pinnacle of the pyramid of this Satan-run carnival earth, but it's them and the Zionists. They're both hand in glove. I don't know which one is in more control, but they're both in total control. And this is what it's all symbolizing. It's all, they get people to come to these concerts, these halftime shows, and light their torches, their lighters, and worship these people, and this is all about destroying everybody in the audience. You know, it's about burning everybody in the audience, and the people in the audience are totally clueless as to what they're actually watching. But here she's the black princess, you know, she's with the black hoe, the white hoe. After the BBC. But this part's really boring. The black pop stars love the color purple, if you'll notice. Black and purple, or red and black. I mean, the black culture in America, I mean, the granddaddies back in the 40s, they'd roll over in their grave at what black America has become. And it's totally been taken over by white men in Masonic temples. Now here you see, she starts her new song and she's on a little pedestal, and now she's dressed in stars. Now she's Isis, the Pleiades, the seven sisters of Isis. And in the middle of her ziggurat pyramid as usual. And it keeps morphing into different specters of light. And she gets up. What do you think that symbolizes? What do you think that symbolizes? It symbolizes a comet. The comet Venus, you know. Venus is not a planet, it's actually a comet, and it might have been responsible for why all that disaster happened, all those 10 plagues happened to Egypt, you know, preceding the Exodus. But she's definitely a comet with a tail, and she's the phoenix. She's on fire, and at least she was at the beginning, riding the beast. But now she's in a dress with stars all over it. She represents the zodiac, the stars, and the heavens. And she's obviously a comet. I don't know if it's the comet Venus, but Venus is Lucifer. It's duality. It's Lucifer by day. What is it? Lucifer by night, and by day it's Mary, the Queen of Heaven. You know, sometimes Venus comes up with the sun, and sometimes it goes down with the sun. And it was once a comet, and it's in the ancient tradition. It's well known in the ancient tradition. We've totally forgotten our history anyways, and now everybody believes in evolution. But anyways, yeah, she's a comet. She causes the sea to part. I don't know if I believe that, but, you know, makes sense. Why would they put her on something ridiculous like that, you know? A comet has a tail. Venus is a 5-pointed star. You know, you got all the Pink Floyd rainbow colors coming out of the tail. You got the flames, the fire coming out of the ground. Like I said, it all seems like frivolous SOS fun, but it's deadly serious. Deadly serious. You see that stance there? That's like the typical stance for Colombia. the Queen of Heaven. You know what I mean? That's about it for Act 1 of the continuing saga of this ISIS crisis, which is plaguing us here in the Western world, the free world, getting us ready for the big showdown between Islam and Christianity. I'm not saying everything I said here was gospel truth, but regardless of what I think, I'm pretty sure that they're getting us ready for a big conflagration, and we better get spiritually prepared, at the very least. We're all just working together here to find out the truth about things, the real truth in a world of a sea, an abyss of lies. Having said that, please share this video. I worked pretty hard on it, on Facebook or Google Plus or whatever you do. I really appreciate it. Anyways, in case the world blows up before I put part 2 out, stay safe, people, and God bless. For Police State Radio, I'm Aaron Allen.